Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're the hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every day, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can view all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues that affect you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the October 16, 2024 Fitchburg Public Library meeting, called to order at 5:30. All right, public appearances. Looks like none.
Jeremy, would you like to say something?
I know, I'll save it for today.
Okay.
All right. All right, moving on then, approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the September 2024 draft minutes?
I move to approve.
Thank you, Jim. Any corrections, discussion? Any y'all would like to see changed? Looked good to me also. All right, nothing to discuss. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
I will abstain.
And
I wasn't here.
abstention. All right, motion carries. Thank you. All right, item number 4, the July 2024 Financial Register and Overview. May I have a motion to approve those two documents?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
All right, I'll go over a couple of things that jumped out to me. So we're looking at July. If you look under account 240 in the register, you'll see cabling for the new people counters. So we've talked about the people counters a little bit, and I think we've seen the charge for the hardware part of it, but this was just cabling to make sure that we could install them where they needed to be. Also, the garage door reader. So if you recall, we had quite a few problems with the garage door. This is not that. This was just the reader outside that you swipe to get in. The exterior ones only last so long, so that was a replacement there. Other than that, a couple of things for the story walk installation. So we needed concrete bits and washers to make sure everything was good and level there. Everything else is pretty normal. Any questions? Oh, wait.
I do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Me?
Do you have something on the register or the overview?
Register.
Okay.
I thought we had discussed several years ago not using Hobby Lobby because of their views on.
I remember you bringing that up. I am
And it is a number 240, I think. Let me see.
I hate to micromanage where the staff are getting their supplies, so they are each responsible for purchasing supplies for their own programs, and they do such a fantastic job of stretching our budget. I can share that concern with them. I don't feel like I can prohibit them from going there.
Okay. But we're dealing with a company that has the right to overload federal regulations, and they're against LGBT rights and against contraceptives, and
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but I don't know that it's the library's place to.
Is it the library's place to, let's switch it over. What if this was Hitler? What if it was against African American rights? Would we still want to do business with that company? So that's my concern. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm saying LGBT rights and women's rights are just as important as, because if I said African American rights, I know everybody in here would be, what? Deservedly so. Or if we said Nazis, they're against the Jews. So I'm just saying I feel very strongly about this. Just
I will
wanna get it on the record.
share your concerns with the
Good.
staff, for sure.
Just curious, does anybody else feel the same way about Hobby Lobby or no?
It did jump out at me. I personally don't go there, but it's not an excuse to me. The amount is so small, in my opinion, that I feel that maybe if we establish policy of some kind, it should have, minimum amount that we won't spend, or perhaps investigating more of other organizations, because that's more of a well-known one, the Hobby Lobby. I don't know how Dollar Tree's policy or the other listing on here either. So I don't, at this point, I don't feel knowledgeable enough to.
Hobby Lobby is the only one who's taken it all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Is there another place where they can get whatever supplies they're getting? I guess that would be my question.
I think so, probably.
If they could get them somewhere else, then
Yeah.
let's get them somewhere else.
I don't want to do a policy. I don't want to go that far with it, but I can
understand
certainly
that.
share. I can certainly share. the
Thank
feeling.
you.
Any other questions on the register? And then I just have one comment on the overview. And I was going to save this for my director's report, but I'll just do it here. So vehicle expense, we had increased that account. We originally had only budgeted $200 for oil changes, and then we had issues with the oil pan leaking, and we had to do some repairs, so we moved some more money. So it's $2,000 in there to cover that. I took the van several weeks ago on its weekly 25-mile jaunt around the city, and I got hit by a walnut that cracked the windshield.
No.
So I'll be moving $400 more into that account. It's been replaced. It's fine. It scared the bejesus out of me when it happened. It was on Seminole Highway. Be careful. It came down and hit right like on the edge. So I think it was just bad luck all the way around. So anyway, I'm going to move some more money into that to cover for that. Otherwise, I think everything looks good here. I would also point out under revenue that we have $294 in library fines, which is, we are fine free, as are most of the library in the county. So that caught my eye. Looked into it, and we've had some deposits that we've sent over to the city that were put in the wrong accounts. So they should be in copies. So we are getting that all switched over, but that may take a little bit. So we'll see the library fines go down, I think, almost to nothing, and that will transfer over to the copies.
Copy fees did, I noticed that just because 8,000 seems so much. Is that historically what we bring in from copy fees?
It might be a little bit high. So, we were on the honor system for a while, and then we installed, and so we're still trying to kind of figure out where we're going to land with that. It might be a smidge high, but I think we'll hit at least 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wendy, on the service, on the vehicle expense,
Yes.
we only have 6% left. Can we assume that,
So I will transfer $400 in there from
okay,
somewhere else. I think probably from the disability insurance premiums that we are still in a premium holiday. So there is plenty. There's 4,000 there. So I will move over 400. If we have something else happen this year, then we will probably do the same thing.
Okay.
I don't want to move it until we need it, and I have increased that budget for next year.
my other question for you
Yeah.
was, and thank you for that answer.
Yeah.
I know you always are thinking ahead, so I appreciate that.
Right.
15% left in service contracts.
That is fairly typical because we spend that very heavily in the beginning of the year to cover the year.
Okay.
So there's rarely anything that needs to come out of that at this point. But I'm actually kind of surprised there's 15% left, so I'm going to look into that. That seems like more than we should have at this time. Because typically that's just all spent in January, February.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
How old is this vehicle?
We bought it in 2017. So it's on the CIP to be replaced in 2 years, I think.
Okay.
It has 5,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Then we put $2,000 into it? Or-
yeah.
Okay.
I want to hold off a little bit, so we're looking into, as a city, installing electric charging infrastructure into different buildings, and our garage is a great place for it, and so we're looking to put some in down there. So I would like to hold off until that's in place so that we can look at an all-electric vehicle, just to plug in.
You have 5,000 miles on it in a year, or total?
No, total.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Since 2017?
But like, we go to Leopold, it's 3 miles. We come home from Leopold, it's 3 miles. Like, we only really use it for, this is why I'm driving at 25 miles a week, because it's not getting enough mileage to run properly, so.
That's what I would
Yeah.
say. Not
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's the real downside of having an outreach vehicle when, I mean, Fitchburg is a large city, but we're not out every day, we're not. Right.
I'm buying it.
All right, any other questions? Okay.
All right, if nothing else, all in favor of approving the July 2024 financial register and overview, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next, unfinished business. There is none that I'm aware of.
Nope.
Correct. All right. Item number 6, new business. So I think we want to do, we're going to do the presentation.
Yeah, so we'll
first.
do the presentation about youth services. This is Kristen. You probably remember her.
Everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So our youth services staff, there are 2 full-time librarians. Margaret Howard is our youth services librarian, and Minda Maurer is our outreach librarian. She's in the nice little van there. Then we have 4 part-time library assistant twos, and Jessie, Charmaine, Christine, and Lynn. And I have had the opportunity to have every single one of those jobs, and so it's a lot of fun getting to see it from this side now. Okay, so some of the things we do in the Youth Services Department, we do all of the youth and teen programming, so that's ages 0 to 17. Our in-person programming, which is kind of what you probably normally think of what we're doing up there. There's a fun picture of a teen program going on. I think they're learning how to do some makeup. We have some passive programs, so that'll be like our library scavenger hunt. That it changes monthly, and occasionally we have some extra programs. In March, we do March Madness, where kids get to vote on their favorite books. And then we also do some take-home programs, mostly for teens at this point. It's kind of a nice way to reach them where they're at. And then we do the collection development. We do all the ordering and the weeding, so Margaret and I kind of share that task. I do a lot of the nonfiction and the AV, and the teen ordering, and then Margaret does a lot of the board books, picture books, early readers, graphic novels, things like that. We weed pretty often because we are always ordering, so we're always getting new stuff in, and then we just need to make some space, keep things fresh. So then, yeah, our other duties, we staff the youth services desk. We offer readers advisory, try to get the best books in kids' hands for what they're interested in, and then just general customer service at the desk. We also do all the displays and decorations. So we always have a seasonal display. Right now we have Hispanic Heritage Month and Halloween. And then everyone else takes a turn, and they each have a monthly display as well. So we try to put things in that kids are really interested in, you know, trucks and all that kind of stuff, that just a quick go-to for them. Our decorations, the picture in the middle there is from a summer reading program. So we get to have a lot of fun doing that. And then we change out our bulletin boards every so often.
Wait, I have to interject. Those are pool noodles. All of it.
And egg carton.
Oh, and egg carton. Yeah. Crazy. I had no idea you could do that. Pool noodles.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then we do our summer and winter reading programs. The summer reading program was, I think, one of our best yet since COVID, so it's very fun to see everyone coming back. The winter reading program is kind of an abbreviated version of that. It's a month long. Actually, I think it's just 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
So just to get a little bit more, it's like a winter reading bingo. So it's a little smaller program. And then Margaret is also, she supervises the teen volunteers. So right now we have 4 teens who come in. They do everything from pick lists to helping us with our craft programs, and they'll weed, help us weed the books, and sometimes they come in and help us with programs too, so that's really nice. So outreach. So this is Minda's area. She does a lot. So this last summer, she did the pop-up library at Southdale again. That one was still very popular. And then a new one this year, she started following around the Munch mobile meals and handing out books and sometimes some take-home crafts as well. And that ended up being very popular. She does an evening book club here for an adult evening book club. She helps with the pollinator garden, helps coordinate our master gardeners, and that has been really fun to see over the years, these last few years. She does events at the senior center. We've done some partnership events this last year. CASH is the Children's African Story Hour, which was a partnership with the African Studies program at UW. And then on Saturday, we'll be doing a Day of the Dead program. It is a partnership with Beyond the Page and the Midwest Mujeres. And then she's done some programs with Metro Transit and PBS Kids. And then she's our connection to the schools. She has a homework club. She does Saturday school. And then anytime there's like a resource event, we like to have a presence there, and Minda will go. And she's done a lot of the community events, National Night Out. I believe that was maybe in the picture before with Minda. Car seat safety events, the Southdale Resource Fair, and she did a fire department story time, which was very well attended and a lot of fun. And then, of course, the story walk at McKee Farms Park. She coordinates and picks the books, and that has been fabulous to see, the new one. Yeah. And so a lot of fun.
What is Saturday school?
It's kind of just, she'll go in and she will bring some resources and things. Like, she kind of brings the library program to them. So that's at Southdale.
Leopold has school on Saturdays?
It's actually at the, is it South side? Yeah, okay. South side. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think it's like a half-day thing, and it's not like a actual school. It's just kind of a thing where kids can come in and get some more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question. Mm-hmm. With programming and outreach overall, over the past more than decades now, of course, I haven't been used for, 45 years. That's a long time. But anyway, how technology had kind of steal so much of library time and how much we touch our book away. How have the staff has to adjust or get training or, get resources to deal with not counterculture, but sort of, incorporate technology into what they do.
Right. And we really we'll do a lot of continuing ed, there's a lot of fun tech toys and things that we can kind of play around with, and there are some we can share between libraries with the South Central.
Yeah,
Library
South Central's
system.
got some good kits of.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Spheros. They're little round toys, and you control them with an iPad, and it's kind of programming, kind of game, so you can make them roll around and do things.
Yeah, and these little cublets, all sorts of things. But really, kids really still like the cutting and pasting, and it's good to see. You do see some differences, I would say, from when I was a kid. That the hand-eye, the cutting with scissors and things, you can tell the kids don't do it as often. So it's nice to get them in and do a lot of those really open-ended craft programs where they can create anything. Yeah. So
I feel like we're always trying to kind of balance the two. Make it fun with technology things, but also it can't all be technology.
Yeah, and I assume that for people who study library science, there must be research out there on effective ways for library to engage youth nowadays.
And I will also say that youth librarians are really good about working together and sharing ideas. So within South Central, I would say Dane County probably more, but South Central, they're always talking about. They've got a listserv where they're always talking about what's going on.
Yeah, they'd love to share resources, instructions, everything, and so there's a lot of online. Just throughout the entire country, there's librarians that will share.
Also, because there's not always a huge budget to try things out, so I think everybody wants to know if you're going to invest in Spheros, you want to know that they've been used in library programming successfully. So people are really good about sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So last, I just have some of our program statistics, and this just goes through September. We've had a total of 264 youth programs with 7,774 patrons attending, which I was just looking back at last year, and that is more than the total of last year. So we are on track to really beat that number, which is great. Self-directed programs, that's like our scavenger hunt and our March Madness. So a lot of people participate in those, which is a lot of fun. Teen programs, there are fewer. It is harder to get them in. They are so busy, and so we try everything. We are always looking for new ideas. But the self-directed programs for them, that tends to be a take-home craft. So it's nice that we can offer something that they can do on their own time when they have it. And you can see people participate in that. We try to make at least 20 or so of those a month, and more if we can. And then our outreach programs, Minda had a total of 31 so far, and she'll have more as the school year gets going. She'll have more of those to add. And these are some of our programs from this summer. So there's Magic Morgan with the incredibly large magic wand. And then Minda's doing a music and movement program up there in the storytime room. So, and we are, I believe we have over 90 programs left, October through December. So that should be always a lot more fun. So.
Do you have any insights into why attendance is so much higher this year? Like, did we have better marketing or better programming that people liked? I guess I'd like to see, like,
it's
what works. And
unbelievably hard to tell a lot of times what
Sure.
brings people in. But I think there's a little bit of, yes, we are kind of hitting a groove. We are lucky to have, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have the exact same staff as last year. So it's great. We've got, people who know what they're doing, and they do it well. And we have great performers that came in this summer. We had a huge turnout. I think some of it is just people are ready again. They're out more. They're starting to come to more and more. I feel like when we started back after the pandemic, people would come maybe once a week to a program, and now you'll see them multiple times. So, yeah.
I hate to talk too much. Just, you know better than I do. Of course, I may just waste your time. But I thought about the teen program and the attendance. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're on their phone, right? I mean, I think that's fair to assume. And I was thinking, is there an app for them to engage them, that would engage with somehow keeping track of, I read this many books and I get this so many badges and...
Yeah, and that is what our summer reading program looks like on Beanstack. But we are on Instagram. We have a small presence there. And we also did try a Discord server to try to do like an online, place where teens could meet about the library. And it just we weren't getting the interest. So we haven't.
I really thought that was going to be
the
answer. And it was not.
Yeah.
It clearly was not. Yeah. So we're always kind of trying stuff. Mm-hmm. Social media is hard because our insurance company has said, like, legally, you don't want to turn that into an open forum, so you don't want to have a lot of chatting on there because if you get something inappropriate and you delete it, then you're violating First Amendment rights. Right. Teens are tricky. It's tricky, and it goes up and down for reasons that we don't ever understand. I mean, over the life of the library, we had a really good teen presence when we opened, and then it has just come and gone, I think, over the years.
I'm just thinking about my addiction to Scrabble on my phone.
Oh, sure.
I play Scrabble on my phone, and it's totally just badges, right?
Yeah.
And gems, and then playing against other adult, of course, other people whom I don't know, but it's how fast you can go. Yeah. And that's what sort of drawn people.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out to see if there's anything that would be appropriate for us to do.
Yeah.
Because Beanstack is like that. Like you do I'm thinking about like winter reading, you do like the bingo thing and you log that on your phone and get badges and stuff, but you need something. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have suggestions, let us know. Mm-hmm. All right.
Other than that, if you have any other questions.
Thanks for your presentation. It's wonderful to see the amount of outreach and programming that we do and how well it's being received. It's really a credit to the staff.
It's great to see it on the rise. And
Wendy, we used to put out, going back years, pre-COVID, some sort of, I don't want to say book, pamphlet at one point during the year. that would have those statistics in it? Because I think people need to see those
I
numbers.
feel like we were doing bookmarks for a while.
I mean, those numbers are so
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
It would be nice for
Yeah, and then I
the
think
general
we had an
public to know
infographic,
them.
but I don't remember where it was published. We'll think about that.
Is it on the website?
Yeah, yes. We did an infographic last year with the.
I thought it
as
was
part
on
of
the
annual
website.
report.
Yeah, for the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Report, yeah.
But that might be something good to have printed out and around.
Yeah.
And bookmarks go like crazy, so maybe we think about doing it in that format again. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. Okay, excellent. All right, so now we have policies.
Yes, all right. Continuing item number 6, new business, code of conduct policy. So can I get a motion to approve the code of conduct policy?
I will motion to approve.
Thank you.
All right, and Kristen will go through the changes that we've got.
Will this come up there? I don't know.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so I just go through and.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody's got it in the packet.
Great. Okay, so mostly it was a lot of just little formatting issues. We separated out at, bringing any animal into the library except service animals used to be in the same bullet point as leaving animals unattended on city property. We thought it would be nice to separate those out as two. There was a space between rest and rooms we've removed. And then our display policy had no link before, and so I added that link. Let's see. And further down, so under the unattended child policy is where we made a little bit of, it's mostly formatting. It used to be one big paragraph, but we separated out where it says unattended children ages 7 or younger, took that line out and said any child requiring repeated intervention, just so any child age 7 or younger sticks out a little bit more, that they need to be supervised at all times.
We had an experience this year where we had a parent with a 5-year-old who, in her reading of this, felt like she didn't need to be supervising her child in the building because the child wasn't being a problem. So they didn't need to be together in the building. And so we are just doing this to clarify that if you have a child under 7, you need to be with them in the library all the time. They can't be in a different part of the building. So this is just a clarification that I didn't know that we needed until
Right.
we needed it.
And then just some formatting and the bullets below that.
Yeah.
All that is, and I think that was all we had.
I'm going to say one more time that I think that not having a lot of changes here means that congratulations to us for keeping up with this every year. I feel like if you saw giant changes, that would mean we hadn't done our job over the years. So good for all of us.
So you just review all the policies every year, or just certain ones every single?
All of them.
Okay.
Yep. Mostly because I want the staff to be able to show a policy that has a board-approved date that is recent, because when you hand it to somebody and it's 12 years old, it loses a little bit of its teeth, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy, I know that we cover conduct for patrons in this document. Does the city have something to back you up when staff, not that our staff is, but we don't know what's coming down the line, if staff is abusive towards you or someone else?
There is a personnel policy that we have.
That covers the library, so you don't have to have
Right.
one for
Right.
staff.
Yes.
So watch it, Tim.
I've read over a few times, making sure I'm not doing anything too crazy. Yeah.
Yes, and I will say with that one, when changes are made, there are a number of places in that where the library is spelled out because things are different over here with hours and vacation time. There are just a few things, closed dates, that kind of thing. So we keep up with that one, but it doesn't count. It goes to the personnel committee of the council, but we're keeping an eye on it.
I had a couple of things,
Uh-huh.
if now is a good time to
Yeah.
ask. Okay. One is just formatting. So in the first section, under unacceptable behavior, it looks like we are in the second page, page 2 of 3, we're starting with an active verb. Can we be consistent all the way down?
Yes. I already see one, failing to place waste. Yep.
And then more on content, on like room designation. So we have in the second bullet point, the teen area is specifically reserved. Can we say minors age instead of kids, age 13 to 18?
It's fine with me. What do you think?
I just think, we think of them as adults or minors for teens. I just, I think that's more indicative of that kind of language. And the second bullet point on the following page, any child requiring repeated intervention, can we say minor there? Because if you've got a 17-year-old and they're saying, I'm not a child, I can do what I want.
Sure.
I'm just thinking it might give you more,
Any minor requiring.
any minor.
Yep.
Power to Wendy.
Yes, more power
I
to
agree.
the staff.
I like that change.
Good catch, Ann.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else?
That was it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Is the failing the only one, or should we just?
There's 2 failings.
And then just change them to failure?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
So
Or
do
from
you
failure
want
to
to
failing.
keep the child on the, the bullet below of any child requiring repeated? So there's a lot of childs under sub-bullets. Do you want to keep that language there, or you want to change it to be consistent?
Where are you?
Yeah, I would say that's minor also. Or, a child is unattended or under attendant.
Yeah. Ignore and.
I would actually move that bullet under any child aged 7 or younger. I would switch those 2 bullet points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Especially when you're talking about police, I think
Yeah.
that.
I like minor with the requiring repeated intervention. I'm a little hesitant to change all of it to minor.
Right, if you move that bullet point
Yeah.
up,
So if we put that up, if we flip-flop those 2, then are we good leaving, like when a child is unattended?
Yeah, it is the children's area.
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
younger.
Okay. Okay. I like that.
what if you have a teen that hasn't been met by a parent or caregiver at closing? What do we do?
Typically, we will, hopefully a little bit before closing, reach out to them, help them get in touch. Generally, they've got phones now, so it's not so much of us having to give them our phone to call, but to make sure they've got a ride. If they are 16 or over, then they're free to do what they want. We are always happy to take them over to the police department for them to wait there for a ride just in their lobby. Okay. If they're under 16, then we're definitely doing that.
Okay.
Staff are walking them over.
So it's safe.
We also can, if we know that the parents are on their way, the lobby of City Hall is always open, so that's another place that they can wait.
Excellent.
Yep.
Does that ever happen?
Rarely, but yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering about when you have a unattended teenager and the consequences of that.
Right.
And what's our responsibility
Right.
as a public
Right.
institution? Okay.
Yep.
As it's getting cold out, it's good to think
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that. No?
Right, like if it's in the summer and they're like, my mom's on their way,
Right,
I mean, depending, not if you're,
right.
Yeah.
Well, there's
right. But winter gets tricky with
a lot of physical safety
Yeah.
issues
Yeah.
now.
Right.
We never really had to consider before.
Right, yeah, we're lucky to have City Hall next door that we can use those
Yeah.
spaces.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
All right. So we want to approve this with changes. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, any other discussion? Cool. All right, so motion to approve the Code of Conduct policy with the discussed changes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. On to the record retention policy. Can I get a motion to approve the record retention policy?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
There are no changes here. It is just a, yeah,
Or,
yeah,
there are no changes
straightforward link
possible.
to the statute. Yeah.
So nothing to approve.
I think we still need approval. All right, any
Yeah.
discussion, questions, comments, concerns? Didn't think so. All right. Sorry. All in favor of approving the record retention policy, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 3 under new business, Fitchburg Public Library gift policy. Can I get a motion to approve the Fitchburg Public Library gift policy?
I make a motion.
Thank you.
So this is one that I present, and we didn't have any changes. This has been serving us very well. Essentially, the purpose of this is to make sure that we, as a library and as a board, have, I guess, the right to say what gifts we will accept under what conditions. So we try not to take anything that has a lot of strings attached without agreeing to them. So somebody wants to donate a piece of art, but it requires a lot of installation, we would need to get that okayed by the board because it would take funds. Yeah, so this has been working pretty well. We do obviously take a lot of book donations, and that is sort of a separate process through the Friends. So this is really, we're talking about monetary gifts, collections, artwork, that kind of thing. Doesn't happen a lot, but we want this in place for when it does. Any questions about this?
Wendy, how much money do we get in a year from gifts, on average?
I would
Give me a big round number. I don't care if you're off by,
We've budgeted $18,500 for this year. We're currently at just under 13.
but most of that comes from the Friends of the Library.
A lot of that comes from the Friends. So I would
Anybody
say,
just, here's a check for 500 and
we do get those.
sometimes.
I would say 500, 1,000. Those are coming in multiple times a year. Last year we had a very generous donation of 2,500 that did end up going through the Friends, but was for large print books. Nice. So if it was anything of a large amount, probably over the 5,000 that we use for any kind of bills that we pay, I would bring it to you to make sure that we were okay with. That one came in and it was large print, and that is very much in our wheelhouse and a collection that we wanted to grow. So that worked out nicely. Yeah, so not a ton. But we always want to be ready for it. We're open to it.
Okay, anything from anybody else? Cool. All right, then, all in favor of approving the Fitchburg Public Library gift policy, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Excellent.
And our last item under new business, the Memorandum of Mutual Accountability Beyond the Pale Ripple. So can I get a motion to approve the Memorandum of Mutual Accountability from Beyond the Pale Ripple, or page, sorry, Beyond the Page.
That was quite a mouthful. I will motion to approve.
Thank you.
So I believe that we saw this several months ago as a draft. So this is coming back for an actual approval and signature. So this is, Beyond the Page is the grant that we have through Madison Community Foundation as Dane County Libraries, and so it's always been for humanities programming. But several years ago, we decided to add in a DEI component, and we called that Ripple. They are really merging more to be hand in hand for the whole thing, which has been really great. So a lot of what is spelled out in here is something that we would be doing with or without this agreement, which makes it an easy thing to sign. So it essentially sets out that they will spend at least $5,000 a year to support local library equity initiatives, and that they will incorporate an equity focus in addition to humanities, which is what it has always been. What we're agreeing to is that we will actively participate in the regional equity teams. So we've had 2 members of our staff that were on the regional equity team for, I think, 2 years, and then we just recently switched it out to give Minda a chance to participate. So she attends those meetings as often as she is able, and brings things back to either the management team or like program ideas, that kind of thing. And that's worked out well. Identify annual or longer-term DEI goals in conjunction with those teams. So that works well. We also have the city has a DEI group, and so we're working with them. So I think Ripple does understand that as part of a municipality, a lot of us have other things that we're working on towards this as well. And they've been great about sort of recognizing that we need to be doing both. So that's worked out well. And then that we will consider recommendations of the teams. So professional development, they've done some really good sessions that we've been able to send some staff to. Library policies and practices, we would be doing that anyway with or without this, so that's fine that it's in there. And then changes to recruitment, hiring, and retention, that is actually something that's been on my radar for a while, and we will work that into the next strategic plan. So that was something we were working on anyway. So this is kind of an easy thing to agree to, and we really do appreciate the money that they put into it. So I would recommend that we agree to this. But happy to answer questions as well.
Yeah, I just have a question. When you say regional equity teams, what people are on that team?
So it's going to be staff from libraries around us. So I think we are with Oregon, Verona, Mount Horeb. There might be another. They divvied it up so that none of them were enormous, and then it is facilitated by the staff member for Beyond the Page.
Okay. And when we're talking about equity, are we including like people from Southdale and Jamestown, when decisions are being made or them being asked?
So
about policies?
I think what these teams are really doing is helping libraries to recognize equity in their staff and then also recognize programming opportunities. I don't know that it means that we're going out to, it might facilitate us as Fitchburg going out to talk to those people, but I don't know that's going to happen directly through this. It will help us learn how to do it, I guess, but it probably won't happen directly because of this.
Because that's what I would like to see, because I was involved in racial equity, social justice initiative with the city, and it was real powerful to hear from the people who actually it's affected by. I mean, you just learn so much, stuff that you may never even think of. Yeah. So that's was something I would, hopefully.
So I think it goes hand in hand with that, but it's not a direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a couple formatting things and then a larger question, discussion question. So a request to link the 2013 Race to Equity report and the 10-year update so that people could look at that and be familiar with what that said, including myself. And then secondly, if we have something like Beyond the Page, and then later we refer to it as BTP or the racial equity teams. And then later we say RET, that the first time we do that, behind it, we put what that.
I can suggest these things. This is not my document.
Oh, it's not your document?
Not. This is coming from Dane County.
Well,
I will suggest them, though.
I will gently. That is like.
I will gently suggest
That's
things.
basic.
Yeah.
And then I was wondering, the larger discussion question, since this is an initiative for everybody, should we have this as a running discussion item in our board meeting minutes? Like you have in your report, you have, the three, maybe to bring further attention to it, we just have it. Is there anything new under the, the Beyond the Page initiative? So that we make ourselves more accountable to what's being asked.
We could add it to the library director report.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing to do. It shows them that this is not something we agree to and then never discuss. It's something we discuss every month.
Right. Yep. Yep, you can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be under unfinished business.
Aren't we actually doing that? Like,
It's not going to go
listen-
under unfinished business. I heard that.
As I listened to the youth services report
Yeah.
and everything, seems like a lot of stuff we're already doing for equity. So
Yeah.
maybe just
Yeah.
put it in a separate, I don't know,
Yeah.
topic and
Yeah,
just
I think,
highlight it.
I think, I think a lot of what they're really pushing for is probably for libraries that this is not on the radar, and they're trying to kind of help them move forward in a way that maybe they wouldn't have done. I think we're in really good shape.
I do too. Yeah, it's not saying we're not doing it, it just shows people that this
Yes,
is
but it would be good to be more transparent about it, for sure.
very
For sure.
transparent.
And on that note, as you talk about marketing material, like for promotion and
Yeah.
bookmarks and things like that, this would be something good to highlight.
Sure.
On this particular
Yeah.
topics, if there's anything you do that fall under.
Yep.
It's also show, again, the accountability, and it also have the indirect effect to make the community members
Yeah.
from, all kinds of background feel that
welcome.
we care and
Yeah.
we welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Excellent.
Do we have other initiatives like this? Any other memorandum or I don't know that I ever see these very much.
Can't think of any.
Okay. Do they get proposed ever? I'm just curious,
So this is.
could anybody
This is pretty unique. Beyond the Page is very unique. I don't know of another group of libraries that have done something like this.
Sure.
Like to have an endowment that is paying out a sizable amount of money every year to allow this kind of programming. It was a big push by the former Dane County Library Director, who worked closely with the Madison Community Foundation. So they had a really good partnership. I feel like we are very lucky to have this. This is very unusual. So I'm not surprised that there's not more of these for us to look at. Certainly, if something comes up, it would come here. But yeah, yeah,
So it's just the unique organizations like this that are few and far between.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I have a hard time explaining this to other library friends in other states because they're like, and they give you money and wait, what?
Could you be presenting something
Possibly.
and your data and things like this at some library convention?
Possibly, but I feel like Dane County should, and I'll suggest that too. I'll gently. All right.
Cool. Any other discussion? Nope. All right. All in favor of approving the memorandum of mutual accountability beyond the page ripple, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Excellent. Thank you. And I'm going to, before we jump to number 7, let Kristen go free.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you again.
I can disconnect Zoom without disconnecting the whole thing? Or, okay.
What time are they coming in for?
Okay, we're just finishing up the library board meeting.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We'll just sit. I can't
Sure.
admire the library board. I think you're like one of the most important boards.
Uh-oh.
I like her.
Really?
What time does their meeting start? What time does their
6:30.
meeting start?
At 6:30
6:30.
or whenever we're done.
All right, we'll move. All right, item number 7, President's Report. Thank you, everybody, for actually being here in person. I can tell very obviously that there's more quality and more discussion going on. So, I know the Zooms are convenient, but it feels like these are more productive when we've got everybody here in the same room. Related to that, Adrian resigned earlier, so we do have that opening now, and we will be having to look for another School of Oregon employee to fill that role. And that is everything I had. Item number 8, Library Director Report. Wendy, take it away.
Right. So you may have noticed when you came in across the hall in what used to be the gallery space, there's a new wall. So that's a new staff conference room. There is a panel missing that didn't come with it. That will be fixed. We are still waiting on chairs, so we're not actively using it yet because we have tables but nowhere to sit. But it's come together really nicely. We painted in there, so it's much brighter. There is a window in there as well. So that is a project that is going very well. I already told you about the van windshield, so we don't have to talk about that. Very sorry about that. Staff in-service, just a reminder that we are closed on November the 6th for staff in-service. It's going to be the day after the election, so it will be a very gentle in-service. But I think everybody will enjoy having a place to be in and people to process with.
Hopefully celebratory in-service.
I hope so. Is that all I had? That doesn't seem right, but I think it is. I was because of the van windshield. I had that on there. I won't talk about that. If you look at stats, things are slowing down after summer, but that is absolutely normal. September is usually sort of ramps down a little bit for the rest of the year, but things are going well. The people counters, we are doing Stats Week right now, and typically we would just have a number from that 1 week because we did a sample week of people counting, and now we get to do it every single day, so we're going to have really good data for that. I'm excited. And that's all.
It was nice to see the summer reading participation up in 2024. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Both kids and
that feels good. Yeah. And I will say that traffic in the building this summer was up, and I think that it was surprising to some of the youth staff that didn't work here before the pandemic. But it felt, I think, very much like more of a normal summer to the rest of us. And I think that was probably a year later than we expected it to. So, so that's been good.
Parking lot seems full every single time I come by. Which is great.
So under personnel, we do have a library assistant one opening. We also hired 4 shelvers, which may have happened last time. Probably. So we had a lot of training to do. So Phil's been very busy, but they're doing great. So we all, several of them had already worked in libraries, and so they came on and trained really fast, and then all of a sudden, everything was shelved, and we were like, wait, what happened? Awesome. So that's been really good. We do also have an intern that I think was starting last time we met, but he has started, and he is working on a couple of different projects with us, including he's going to help out. He speaks Spanish, so he's going to help out at Day of the Dead on Saturday. So wonderful. That'll be great. Yeah. Excellent. Now that's it.
All right. Anything else for Wendy?
Happy Bosses Day.
It is.
Bosses Day, yeah.
Oh. Yay.
All right, item number 9, announcements. The next library board meeting will be Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in this same room in the library. And then, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.